So in the spirit of the Great UK Water Blitz, which is being run this weekend by Earthwatch Europe, I thought I'd go out with my own little nitrate and phosphorus strips and do some water testing along as much of the Wandle as I could reach. I'm currently here in beautiful Beddington Park with a gorgeous heron in the background, so I'm going to see how polluted or otherwise the water is that this bird is trying to fish in. So as not to disturb my heron friend, I am just going to go and get a dip of the water the other side of the bridge here. I've got my little cup on a stick. I'll try and get some water without dropping my phone in. Hey, there we go. So that nitrate test gave me a result somewhere between, I think, 5 and 10, and the phosphate test gave me a result between 5 and 15, but I think much closer to 5 than 15. So not as bad as the first spot I tested back in June near Hackbridge. This stretch of the river has no pollution from a Thames water outfall. And although it's in this great big park, apparently the park is being managed in a way that isn't introducing too much nitrate into the water, so that's a really good sign. So on I go along the Wandle Trail to my next destination. Okay, so here's my second testing spot. We're by quite a busy road here, so I'll be interested to see if that has any effect on the levels of nitrate in the water. I'm just going to dip my trusty cup in and see what we get. The river doesn't look quite so healthy here. It's quite silty. There's not really any plant growth. Here we go. Just going to dip the cup in. And we'll give that a quick test. So the results here for the nitrate and phosphate were a bit higher than Beddington Park. So we're actually upstream from Beddington Park here. So you would think it would be slightly better, but it might be something to do with the fact that the river is very culverted here, as you can see behind me, just the concrete sides there, and there's not that much vegetation. The river's quite slow flowing and quite silty here, so that probably isn't helping either. I'm really curious to see how this section of the river at the slightly confusingly named Richmond Green is doing. We're not near Richmond, we're just a little bit closer to the start of the Wandle in Croydon, and there's been some rewilding projects happening here, including the creation of a wet grassland habitat and a balancing pond to mitigate flood risks, so that all sounds pretty positive. There's not much waterweed or anything growing in the river, but you can see the extent of flood, you know, the height of the floods along the banks there. So I'm going to have a little dip and see what the nitrate and phosphorus levels are. I think this is the point where I'm most likely to fall in, because it's quite a long way from the bank to the water, but let's see if we can do it. Oh, just about. There we go. So that result showed a more similar result to Beddington Park, which is a good sign. This is further upriver, so closer to the source of the Wandle. So good to see that the nitrate and phosphorus levels are lower. This section is slightly faster flowing than it was through the last section that I sampled, and I can also see some little fish while I was trying to take my sample, so hopefully that's a good sign that the river is in better health here, hopefully because of the rewilding project that's been taking place. I'm just going to do a little water test here at Wandle Ponds. It's one of the last, or sort of first points I should say, that the Wandle pops up on its journey down towards Wandsworth. The actual source of the Croydon branch is in Wandle Park in Croydon, but it goes underneath the road between Wandle Park and Wandle Ponds, so I thought this would be a good place to do a test. The ducks love it because people come and feed them here, but I'm not sure how good the water quality is, so let's take a look. So this water is really still and really salted up, so just see what this comes out like. So despite the ducks providing some of their own fertiliser and a couple of them getting curious and coming over here to see what I've been up to, Wandle Ponds actually doesn't look that bad in terms of nitrate and phosphorus, which is a really good sign. So it looks like this end of the Wandle is actually not doing too badly in terms of river health, which is really encouraging. Hello and welcome to the source of the River Wandle in Croydon. It smells really bad and the water looks absolutely disgusting. I'm going to get a really quick sample and I'm going to get the hell out of right next to the river before I fall in, because it really does look absolutely rank. So unsurprisingly, that result was about twice the levels of nitrogen and phosphorus that I've seen on the rest of the river. So I'm definitely going to email the council to find out what on earth is going on here, because this particular just tiny section of the river is so much dirtier than like anything else that I've seen. So yeah, that concludes today's little journey along the Wandle. I am gonna head off to wash my hands and see you again at the next stretch of my Wandle adventure.